I had to do that because I was really getting annoyed at the last one. But listen, let's have this conversation because this conversation needs to be had. Okay. First and foremost, I'm gonna preface this by saying I don't care what you do with your relationship life. That's none of my business. All right. The only thing I care about is stuff that becomes my business. Once people make, I begin to talk. Okay? I got a big problem with the Caribbean black mindset when it comes to how they see the black man and how they see interracial couples. So just for those who don't understand the Caribbean culture, interracial couples in the Caribbean is basically part of the culture. In fact, it's even encouraged. Black women especially are encouraged to want to have a husband or have a child that is interracial because they have been, of course, colonialized to believe that features that are more European mixed with black make a child more attractive. So having a black baby, female or male, with light eyes, with curlier, more European hair, with a lighter complexion, that is seen to be as a preference. So in the Caribbean, interracialness is considered to be more beautiful, right? Just let's establish that. In the Caribbean, and I'll speak specifically, small island specifically, and then you can go on to anyone, that an interracial person, in respect to their features, is considered to be more beautiful than an individual who looks more African in their presentation, in their anthropology. So now when you grow up under that spectrum, and as a young woman, you might look for a man who isn't necessarily quote unquote all black looking. Might look a little Spanish, might look a little Indian, might look a little mixed. In Trinidad, we call him a Spanish dogla, right? Or a dogla, which is a black person mixed with an Indian person. A Spanish dogla is a black person mixed with a Spanish person. And so those people are considered to be preferential, and they're considered to be individuals who apparently are better looking. Also, historically in the Caribbean, those individuals were always usually people who were products of a slave and master relationship, right? So they were put in, bless you, good to see you, everybody, good to see you, Alistair 49. They were put in a preferential situation. So if a slave master had sex with one of his slaves, had a biracial child, they put those biracial children in certain schools, let them live in certain sections of the island, gave them preferential treatment, lifted their level. Also, land inheritance, financial inheritance. The next generation of those biracial children, they always had a slight advantage if they came from a slave master scenario, if they came from a slave master or a colonizer sleeping with his slave, or a colonizer sleeping with his servant. Those children inherited a little more. So you have not just a biracial look, you have a class system where a biracial person coming from that level of ancestry walked into their early life with more money, with land, with advantages, right? Which also, of course, made them even that much more appealing. So the Caribbean, being fostered in this type of synchronistic colonizer anthropology, has developed a philosophy, a life philosophy of those people look better. So what happens now when those individuals now come to Canada, come to America, and now they, who have come from that anthropological psychology, have started now to raise their own family. And potentially they themselves have married somebody who is partially a race outside of African. What do they see when they look at a black man and they look at a white man for their children? What do they see, right? And in this case, a daughter, right? What do they see in a black man who is coming for their child, who wants to treat their child like a queen, who wants to lift up their child, who wants to invest in their child, who wants to bless their child, who wants to make their child a wife, who wants to do all of the things that a man should do, compared to a white man who wants to do the same, right? The preference, and it's not even something that is always conscious. It's something most of the time that is subconscious. The preference goes to the white person. The preference goes to that white male who doesn't even have all of the things necessarily that the black man can bring to the table, but their mindset is that he has more. And so what they will see is they will see a non-threatening white male trying to come into their family. But when they see a black man trying to do the same thing, even on a better level, they will see a threatening black male trying to infuse themselves into their family. I have come across this not once, not twice, but 3 times in my life, where I have been courting women, in relationships with women who their parents come from this mindset. I had one man tell me about his children. When I was interested in his daughter, he said this. He says, none of my kids have married a black person, and I'm so proud of that. This is a black Jamaican man. He told me this. None of my kids have married a black person. I'm so proud of that. He, of course, came from the same Jamaican background in an area where it was the children were multicultural children from slavery. He inherited some things. He passed those things on to his children. So his children had preferential financial advantages, of which his daughter to this day has never had a job. Never had a job. But was benefited by the fact that the parents could undergird her entitlement, and a black man wanted to take care of her. So she never needed a job. And to this day, she never had a job. And what they are prescribed to do, or have a predilection to do, if they see the relationship with the pure African person come into any form of stress or deterioration, they will participate in helping destroy that relationship, or participate in helping make sure that relationship is a non-starter, right? Another family that I came across had no issue that their girl child had a prior relationship with a white person, even though that white person is detrimental to them and detrimental to her. They have no issue with that. They have no issue that this person categorically is attempting to tear down and destroy their precious child's life. But their major issue is that a black man is interested in their child, period. And I mean, this type of scenario, this one is the most bizarre out of all of them, because they will participate in a colonizer spending time in their presence, who has actively, verbally, in writing, in action, tried to destroy their child. But they will participate with that person. They will break bread. They will sit down. They will say nothing. They will have zero smoke for that individual. But a black man attempting to engage with their child on a more responsible level, they will throw their hands up in the air and pretend like it's murder happening, boy. It's it's the apocalypse. And so I know Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar's position is, and I understand where he comes from, is that he doesn't agree with interracial relationships, and he doesn't agree with them for multiple reasons. And I'm not going to put myself in Dr. Umar's position. I'm not going to put myself in his opinion-based scenario, based on a macro level. I'm going to acquaint it to me. I'm going to acquaint it to myself, right? The greatest dilemma that we have in the black community is not interracial marriages. The greatest dilemma that we have in the black community is the fragmentation of the black mentality when it comes to family. In my opinion, black people don't have a proper understanding of what family should look like, should act like, should behave like, should function like. We don't have a proper understanding of it, especially, this is the especially when the family is an all-black family. The black mentality is this, and this is a Caribbean mentality, might operate somewhere in the States too, but when you have an interracial relationship in the family, the black mentality is that interracial relationship is better than a relationship of two black people. There is a presumption that somehow that relationship will outperform the relationship of two black people being together. And that in itself, that presumption in itself, is one of the greatest defeaters of what a positive black family would look like, will act like, will behave like. The black family has enough things coming against it. The black family in the church, 60% of you guys, y'all don't get, 60% of y'all don't last. So Christian marriages, even amongst blacks, don't last. They don't last. The black scenario with black women, white men don't necessarily want to marry you, even though, and the experience that I have, these black women greatly outperform the type of white women that these white men would have access to. I mean, I've seen 10s dating 4s, having children with 4s, having children with 3s, right? Because the black mentality has been, well, why bother with these black men and they can't take care of you, they don't want to marry you, and they don't want, and so this culture has developed where black women have even said that it's a better objective, it's a better destination to have a conversation in my own mind, their own mind, to want to have a white husband because they've given up, so-called given up on black men. And this is the nonsense that I keep hearing. Black women, you don't have to give up on black men. You just have to realize that black men don't just live in America. Black men just don't live in the Caribbean. That there's a greater conversation about what a black man brings to the table. And yes, Miss Ann, we need to love ourselves, but you know what? Loving myself is easy. Loving my brother is hard. Loving myself is categorical, but loving my neighbor, that's the hard part. That's the hard part. That is the hard part. And it's, you know what? I can understand every man. I've got 3 daughters. Every single man, when a man walks into your space and says, hey, I'm interested in your daughter. Yeah, you want to scrutinize that guy. Yeah, you want to figure out, hey, is this a good opportunity? Is this a good situation? But the minute that your child has made a decision, it is now your job as a father to support her decision. It's your job as a father to demonstrate a level of respect. I have never seen so many weak black men who have no capacity to recognize strong black men in their presence who want to build their family, who want to marry their daughters, who want to support them. When a black man comes in to date your child, you know what this means as a man? And my oldest daughter is married, so I've spoken to it like this. When another black man wants to come into my family and marry my daughter, my mentality is, I'm gaining a son. I'm gaining a son. Let me investigate this brother like he's a son, right? I'm okay, bro. I'm okay. I don't have anything for you today. I wish I did. I don't have anything for you today. I investigate that brother like he's a son, a potential son coming. That's how I approach it. I don't approach it like he's a potential enemy coming to invade my country to steal my child. That's the thing that I don't do. That's the thing that I don't do. I had a little something in here, bro. You good? Mm-hmm. All right. That's the thing that I don't do. This is the approach that many of these brothers are doing. You're a black man, you've raised your family, you bought your home, you had your job. Can't you screen what a good black man looks like? You know why most of them can't? Because they have been spending their whole life trying to live in a post-colonial mindset that they're not 100% black, that they're something else. Their classism, their trauma has caused them to believe, well, I'm not like him. He's not like us. And you look now at your daughter and you will give him to the colonizer and have no issues. You let the colonizer live in your home. Imagine me having a man come to me for my child, to marry my child, and then this colonizer said, oh, Mr. Burton, you mind if we get married and live in your basement? You can't marry my kid and live in my basement. You're not ready to marry my child. You're not ready to marry my child and then you got to live in my basement. You can't marry my child, give her a baby and don't even buy her a car. You can't marry my child, give her a baby and don't build out life for her. You got to be kidding me, bro. But you got situations where you got people that literally let colonizers marry their children, live in their basement, and then when a real man steps to the table, you want to come for me? You can't come for me. I watched this stuff, man. I've seen the. Let me see. Number 3. Let me see. There's 2. There's 3 types. First type, classist. You're below us. Second type, we don't like ourselves. So I don't want my kids to marry a black person. I want my kids to marry somebody outside of the black race. That's the second type, right? Leaving that child debilitated. Third type, the trauma. I call them trauma monsters. They basically don't want their kid to be with anybody. And they don't want their kid to be with anybody stronger than them. Those are the messed up ones, bro. Those are the ones. Those are the ones that cause trauma to their own child. Because you know what? When you're a strong black man, nobody can come for you. Nobody can come for you. If you ain't feeding me, you're not employing me. I've got money. I've got my intelligence. I've got my education. When you come in, you can't come for us. So when a strong black man steps to the table, who is humble, who has humility, who says, listen, I'm just here to be part of the team. Some of them can't even understand how to approach a man like that because their colonized mind, they don't see what, they can't recognize what a brother looks like. They don't know what a strong black man looks like. They have no idea. Black men are I don't care what nobody says. I'm a black woman saying that. Listen, I have met so many good black men in my life. I don't have stories about bad black men. And if I do deal with a brother who I think he ain't nothing, I can't deal with him on a personal level. On a personal level, brothers who beat women, these kind of clowns, these kind of weak, we don't even consider them. They're not even in the conversation. But when I see colonizers who appropriate our daughters, our sisters, and they don't know the blessing that they've had, and then you have the in-laws, the black in-laws, who still have preferential mentalities to colonizers who've decimated their families. Then you have these black again in-laws in the other categories who participate in destroying their own families because their child is married to a black man. But they won't destroy the family where their daughter's married to a white man. They won't destroy the families where their daughter's married to an Asian. They don't try to participate in the destruction of those, but they'll participate in the destruction, and they will colonize that girl's mind with evil. Listen, I got an ex right now. She's running around with a chicken with her head cut off. Chicken with her head cut off. Okay? Because her parents don't understand this child never worked. Your child never worked a day in her life. But you're feeding her money. You're feeding her money. Right? Never worked a day in her life. They've paid hundreds and thousands of dollars to break a relationship up where their child was taken care of, never had to work a day in her life. They destroyed it. They destroyed it. They massacred that relationship. Let me go around the block here. I'm still talking to y'all. I'm gonna go around the block. Okay? And this is what I'm going to tell you young black girls, man. You young black women, when a good brother comes into your life, let me tell you what the Bible says, okay? Leave and cleave. That's what it says. It doesn't say stay and take advice. It doesn't say, you know what, I gotta worry about what my mama said. Nah, it says leave and cleave. That's what it tells you. Leave and cleave. Leave and cleave. If you have not, I'll tell you right now, every black woman listening to me right now, if you enter relationships where your mother and your father have as much or more to say than the person you're with, you've suffered a divorce, you've had problems in relationships. I'll tell you right now, you've allowed men have been allowed to take advantage of you. All those things have happened. You've been a non-starter in your life because your parents are always giving you contrary counsel. I've never seen anything like it, man. I've never seen anything like it. Listen, and I'm not afraid to say it. I've never shown up in a family where I have been deficient of information based on what the mother and the father bring to the table intellectually. Never. I've never been in that position. And so when I open my mouth in respect to family matters, when I'm now in the family, what happens in the course of time is I become the chief counselor in that unit. Oh, what does Del have to think about that? Could you ask Del this question? Oh, is Del able to help us with this? That's what it turns into. It turns into that. Eventually, it turns into that, right? Because I'm an intelligent black man coming to the table. So therefore, my information as well as their information becomes safety. But when you see an intelligent black man sit down at the table, an accomplished one who you can literally look into his record, look into his background and say, hey, this guy is a pretty credible human being. And you say, well, we don't want anything with here. We don't want to hear anything he's got to say. You're a fool. You're a fool because you would go and you would pay a lawyer to bring the information I have. You would go sit down in a school and pay tuition to get the information that I have. And there's many black men like me that when we come to the table, our strength, our power, our knowledge, our information, guess what it's called? Oh, these black power men, these black power people. You damn right I'm a black power person. You damn right I'm a black power person. And the brothers who I respect and recognize them as kings, they're black power people too. You damn right we are. And if you are afraid of strong black power, you are part of the enemy's regime, because strong black power should do nothing to the black community but make us excited and glad. When they were watching Muhammad Ali and they screamed out in Africa, Ali Boumaye. What did that do? What did he do? He made black people feel powerful. When Malcolm said by any means necessary, made black people feel powerful. That's what black men bring to the table. But when you have a mentality where you see a black man as a potential destruction to your family who is trying to help, build, assist, complement what you have already had, you have the problem, not us. You are sick. You are demented. And for this who it's for, make it catch you like a fish hook in your mouth. Because you need to be helped mentally, emotionally. I'll tell you what else these people do to themselves. They drastically destroy the intellectual and emotional infrastructure of their own children when they stop their children from having healthy relationships with black men. You destroy it. You destroy it. You destroy it. You destroy it. Right now, I had to put my own daughter. I have 3 daughters. I have a middle one, 16 years old. She's completely out of pocket. I had to put her on brakes. I had to put her on hard brakes because the behavior that she has adopted has been part of the mental, emotional trauma that has been vested on her mama and she has now inherited. Her mentality is that, Dad, your relationship with Mom was terrible. It wasn't a good relationship. I'm like, who told you this? When did you observe this? What is your ingredients to this? And I realized she's receiving information from the factions. That's historical. Even currently, when you come to the table to say, I'm here to bless your child. I'm here to make sure your child is good. People can look at the past and say, nah, that evil past, that destructive past my child had before you came, it's still better than you. And somewhere in their mind, they do this, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, they do this. And I said to myself, what is this? What is this? I had a relationship years back. Where was I? I think I was in my late 20s. and I gotta be very, I don't know who's listens to this stuff later, so I gotta be very careful how I talk, right? And the person, fantastic human being. She was a fantastic human being. And her parents at the time were not interested in me being in their daughter's life. And I had a really, really cool conversation because her parents were powerful black people in the city. And I said, you know what? Out of respect for your parents, this is what my young man did. Out of respect for your parents, I'm just going to back off the situation. I've never dated a non-black person. So this was not, this was a black woman, right? From the Caribbean, but her parents colonized badly, but affluent. I said, you know what? I don't want you to have to decide between me and your parents. We just met each other. You're fantastic. But I feel as a man, if you were my daughter, I'd feel like, yo, I'm a back up because I don't want, I respect your mother. I respect your father. I'm a back up. So I did. She didn't like it. She's like, no, you don't have to do that. I said, no. I think just in principle, I was trying to be this principled Negro at the time, right? So I backed up. My girl went and married a scrub. Next dude after me, she married a dude. Next dude, the very next guy, scrub. Okay? Didn't look like me, didn't have any of the characteristics, She went and married, and she started to say God told her this and God told her that, and her mother said this, the mother said, marriage didn't last. Took that dude to the cleaners, jacked him up. Okay? Then she went and married another brother after that. This brother, again, both brothers were good brothers, but his brother had a little bit of a check, figured it out, right? They're happy as two pigs in mud right now. Point that I'm trying to make is that I pulled out than me. Just on the phone, bro. I'm good. I'm just on the phone here. I'm good. All right. It didn't get better than me, man. So we have scenarios where we have strong black men in our community who don't want to marry black women. Why doesn't Shannon Sharp want to marry a black woman? Shannon Sharp's never been married, and the only dates is Becky's. I should be on some good internet right now. Okay. Shannon Sharp has never gotten married. He's 55 years old. Never gotten married. And we know Uncle Shannon only likes Becky's. Uncle Shannon doesn't levitate to women who are black. Right? He doesn't do it. Hold on a second. Doesn't levitate. My bro, you can't stay there. He can't stay there. You can't stay there, bro. Let him know he cannot stay there. I'm halfway at work here. So, why is it that strong black men don't levitate? You know who I am?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so don't let nobody park here.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying to him, like, don't park it over.
Okay, good. Don't let these brothers who come to the table as strong black men fool you. You know what the issue is? Shannon's got trauma. That's it. Brothers who don't like black women, y'all have trauma. Y'all have trauma because sister said, oh, I don't care what anybody says, I love black men. It's impossible not to love black women. The black woman is the only woman who looks like, presents like every other woman in the world. You get a black woman, you get every woman. You get a black woman, she got her eyes look a little, you got a black Asian. You get them light skin, brown skin, chocolate, you get them all shapes and sizes. The black woman is every woman. So everybody's allowed to like what they like. Everybody's allowed to like what they like. Everybody's allowed to marry what they marry. That's not my point. My point is when you come to the table and you say you're not interested in black women. If you're not interested in black women, then you should really not be interested in women. Because there's no black woman on the planet that you cannot find that looks like a member of another race. You can find a black woman that can pass for white. You can find a black woman that can pass for Asian. You can find a black woman that can pass for a doggone man. You can find a black woman pass for everything. If you don't like black women, you don't like women. So your issue, that issue is completely, that's something separate. You just don't like women. There's something wrong. You're dealing with trauma. You're dealing with trauma. If you can look, if you like chicken, okay, if you like chicken, you can look at fried chicken and say, I don't like fried chicken. I don't like curry chicken. You don't like chicken. There's something wrong. But when you reverse it, black and Asian or Latina, but I'm black American. Black and Asian or Latina, period. Yeah. You can find a black woman to look like anybody. You can Afro-Latinas, you can find black women. You can find a black woman, black Swedish, black Amsterdam women. Those women are fan-flippin-tastic. Okay, you got a problem. If you don't like black women, you got a problem. Now, but if you don't like black men, if you have an issue with a black man, and this is what most of it, I think it's some type of under-seated jealousy, because most of the pushback I've had, except for one family, has been mostly from the women. I've gotten pushback from the males once, but mostly from the women. I don't know what the trauma is with these black women, these black mothers, who when I step in the room, they're like, oh no. I've only had pushback from one male, but I've had pushback from, and even that male, his wife said the same thing. His wife was like, oh, I feel that our daughter is not ready, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, but they still coddled her to the point where she's still in her 40s, almost 50 years old, and she still ain't ready for life. So they didn't fix that problem. But when you can say that you don't like black men, you don't like them for your family, you don't like them for your child, you don't like them to date, you have much bigger problems than just simple trauma. Much bigger problems than simple trauma. Because a black man who does not like black women, he's not blaming the white man. He's just confused. He might hate his mama or something. He's got some kind of basic trauma, because it's crazy. If you like women and you can say, I don't like black women, there's a problem. You can say, I don't like black women in America. You can say, I don't like black women who are Republicans. You can say something like that, but to say I don't like black women, I don't date black women, like, something's wrong with you as a brother. But in respect to when you can come to the table and say, I don't like black men. No. That's deep now. That's deep. What is about us that scares you? What is about us that intimidates you? What is about us that makes us not want to be part of the building blocks of a family? Is it the problem? Did you have a problem with your own father? You know, what are you dealing with that you look at me and look at other black men and say, nah? This is the other part. Many black women don't like strong black men. You still want black men, but you're recreating us in your own mind as submissives. That's not going to work out for you neither. So you don't want to be led. You don't want a person with strong baritone voice. You don't want a person with their own ideas. You don't want a visionary. You don't want any of those types of things. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you're subservient to him in any kind of way, right? I know my ex, bro. If you're the next dude, one of my exes, listen, my last one there, boy, you in trouble. You with a woman who she don't even want it. She told me, I don't want to serve you anymore. I don't want to wash your clothes. I don't want to answer your calls. When you put a black woman in a position where, and this is what happens when you marry into families of class, and you put a black woman in a position where she does not have to work, she does not have to earn any money, she doesn't have to leave the house. You bought the house, you put the house in her name, house is big, affluent neighborhood, where you buy anything she wants, you giving her. When you put black women in a position like that, you better be careful. Because the mistake I made as a younger man was I thought being a great man was doing what these young ladies who were talking to Kevin Samuels were, affording them all of the benefits and the things of life. Nah, brother. Sometimes what you're doing is you're creating a monster that you don't even know about. And so there's a balance. There's a level of reciprocity. You know, I can look back at that relationship and I can say, wow, out of all the years I was with that person, I've never received anything from them. I think I remember one watch. I received a watch and the watch didn't even work out of all those years. But everything that was poured upon that person, they still have it to this day. They're still benefiting from it. But the entitlement that they came to the table because of their parents, they have a hatred for strong black leadership. And everything that they are, everything that they represent right now came from that. Not their parents. Their identity came from that. And so what this young lady in the past is trying to do, she's trying to recreate her identity, but it's almost impossible when you've created almost a 2-decade identity of being one type of person. Now you're trying to recreate it and trying to bring other people to the table. It's going to be difficult. But in this new situation, when a brother shows up at the table and says, hey, man, I'm going to make sure your kid is good. I'm going to make sure your kid has no problems, no issues. Your kid is happy. Your kid has no situations right now that are stressful. And you have a problem with that? I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Right? I really don't know what to say. So I witnessed it for myself, man. I had somebody screaming in my face because I'm taking good care of their kid. Screaming in their face. The kid is successful. The kid is doing great. Their life is better. Oh no, these guys. This is fire. Okay. I thought we had a fire alarm. It's the fire department here. I'm at semi-work. I'm not supposed to be in today. It's a family day here, but I just like to check in on my situation, see how everything's going. But bro, it's crazy to me because, you know, I would understand if I was a whack brother. And I understand. The guys, my crew, I have a crew of dudes around me. You can't find a weak link. Ladies be like, oh, can you hook me up with a nice guy? I'm that guy. In Toronto, if you say, Dale, you got any friends? I'm the guy that's got a whole lot of good friends. Oh, what are you looking for? You want short, tall, skinny, fat? What? I've got law students. I've got architects around me, doctors, business people. I've got, at my age, right, because I'm not a street Negro, the amount of brothers around me that I've got nothing, I got no weak links around my situation. None, zero. I bring you in anywhere. You're going to be dealing with quality people all over the place. All over the place. Quality people. Right? And so at the end of the day, if a sophisticated black man wants to step into your situation and say, hey man, I'm interested in your child, I'm interested in your daughter, I'm going to take care of her, I'm make sure her life is good. But you looking at the white dude and saying, hey, this white dude caused her some problems, and you looking at the white dude like he's an advantage, you got a problem, man. you got a problem. You got a problem. You bringing problems to the table. Sometimes people think it's about money, right? And I always tell people, I'm not a rich man, but I do okay, right? And you know what I call rich is $1 million a year. That's rich. Anything under that, you're doing okay. So that's why I say I'm doing okay. I don't make $1 million a year. I'm doing okay, right? There's the working poor. There's the middle class. There's the upper middle class. There's the rich. Rich is $1 million a year, right? So if I'm coming to the table and I'm saying I'm doing okay, and I'm able to take care of mine, I'm able to take care of your kid, I'm able to do anything that, you know, basic stuff, and also because I don't mess with these kinds no more neither. The last one did nothing. She just was beautiful and lazy. Didn't have any skill sets, didn't know how to cook, didn't know how to do nothing. I taught her to cook. I taught her how to keep a house. I taught her how to do everything. This one I gotta teach nothing. Back girl on the back end, man, that girl's industrious, bro. Back girl on the back end is an empire builder. I just gotta sit back. If I want to sit back and do nothing, be a lazy Negro, shiftless Negro, back girl on the back end could build an empire all by her doggone self, right? But I wasn't doing what I did last time. I made sure that I'm stepping to the table with a queen of reciprocity, and any girl any female that a man of my age must approach is going to be of one of two kinds, right? Somebody who essentially is too young to do for themselves, so I have to take care of them, or somebody mature enough that can meet me in the middle. Those are the two kind of women that only two kind of women that usually I'm going to find, right? And then I'm even interested. You feel fine, I'll take care of you, girl. Or two, you fine and you bringing things to the table. Black girl in the middle. Black girl, she fine and bringing things to the table. And so, if I was a shiftless, lazy Negro, and you got a girl of that level, and you say, yeah, this man's coming for her bag or something, I'd understand that. But when you, as a brother, can come to the table and present, nobody should look at the colonizer and say, well, the white person, he probably had more money, and he probably had more of this, and he probably had more of that. Listen, the greatest currency in the world. Let me tell you the greatest currency in the world. I'm gonna get off this thing in a few minutes. What's the greatest currency in the world? It's not gold. It's not American dollars. The greatest currency in the world is moments. I'll say it again, because some of y'all don't hear it. Let me talk all the way to the back. Let me talk all the way to the East Coast. Let me talk all the way to those small islands. The greatest currency in the world is moments. M-O-M-E-N-T-S. Moments. When a man, sisters, listen to me. When a man can give you the great moments of life, that's a high value man. Moments. When a rich man's bringing you stress, all you're getting is draggedy, raggedy moments. But blessed moments is the currency of life. You trade money for moments. You trade money for moments. And if you're not trading money for moments, you're called a miser. Means you just have money but no moments. When you find a man that has the capacity to have the currency of great moments and can bring you that value to your life, hold on, girl, you're in a good place. Hold on. You're in a good place, because the currency of moments is what life is about. The money you can't take with you, can't take it with you. You can't take the clothes, the jewelry with you. When you're sitting there in your old age and somebody is helping you walk to the bathroom, the only thing that you have left is moments. And when you can go through life and say, this person walked me through some of the best moments of my life, that's when you got a great situation. Because that's my currency. My currency is moments. I have the currency of moments. I'm going to make sure that your life has fantastic moments. And if you have the capacity to trade money for the true currency of moments, you have a man who has the potential to make your life amazing. Amazing. Hopefully he's wrapped up in a good looking package for you. Hope he got a 6-pack and he can handle his business. But I'm telling you straight, it's about moments. I don't deal in the conversations of interracial whatever. I don't deal with it because I have a particular mindset, right? I have a particular mindset that the human race is one race. We're of one blood, but we're of multiple ethnicities, cultures, and tribes. And we have a level of tribalism that works against some of us out of other tribes. And us, out of the African diaspora, we have to insulate ourselves to the negativity of the tribes that want to destroy us, want to keep us down. And to the Judases that are sitting in our tribes that are undermining us, that look at us and say, I wish I was one of them. Go be one of them. Go be one of them. And you know what the worst thing is going to be for some of these in-laws and people? And so, what some of the worst things it is I mean, and it's even bad for your own children, but some of the worst things are going to be when they have a grandchild that's black, an African black. I want to see what they look at that child and say. When they want to see grandchildren with light hair and light eyes and fair complexions, but when they see they got an old Negro black grandchild, what are they going to do then? What are they going to say? How are they going to look at that baby and say, hey, this is my grandchild, right? My daughter's always fixated. Dudes think, oh, Dad, we have so many relatives that are not black. I go, no, you don't. I said, no, you don't. Don't get caught up with that. Don't get caught up with that. Don't get caught up with trying to acquaint yourself into the Europeans' tribe. Don't get caught up with that. Your relative looks like you. Your relative carries your blood. Don't get caught up with these non-blood related individuals. Don't get caught up with that. And I'll tell you right now, don't get caught up with that too. Interracial marriage, that's some of y'all, that's for you. But don't come for the black family. Don't come for the black man trying to build black family. Don't come for the black woman trying to build black family. All right? Don't come for it. Right? Don't come for it. Anyways, this is your moment in history. Listen, I said it like this. I'll say it again. Function in the currency of moments. If the currency of moments is not valuable, if that person in your life doesn't bring you the currency of valuable moments, then irregardless of what race, creed they are, they're not for you. And if you find somebody who has the capacity to make your past disappear and make your present amazing, and decides that they want to make you part of their family, leave and cleave. Leave and cleave. This is Del K. Burton. This is the real spiel. I saw you watching. This is for you.